Rain, rain, go away. You will cause us some dismay. Full disclaimer, this is Hurricane Debbie, aka Tropical Storm Debbie, made its way all the way up here inland into South Carolina. And even though we live upstate, it's really amazing how much is coming down today. So I hope anyone who is living on the East Coast or further southeast, I hope you all are doing okay. And we wish you the best and safety from this flooding storm. Oh, hey. Hey, how's it going, Bronniacs? Welcome back to Bronze Over Brains. I'm your man, Bronson Layton, of course, and guys, it is great to see you, as always. Just a heads up, as you saw in the first clip of this video, for those of you who don't know, where we live in South Carolina, we are actually catching the tropical storm effect of Hurricane Debbie, and apparently, according to the weather radar, it is going to be raining heavily all day. And I wanted to give you guys a heads up that if you hear howling wind or heavy raindrops during the discussion of this video, that would be the reason why. It is very crazy out there and the road conditions are insane. I'm just gonna stick with insane. So what I want to discuss with you guys today is, even though it's been a while since I've done a video about autism, it recently occurred to me, what can we talk about in terms of chasing our dreams while being on the spectrum? And then I thought to myself, well, there's plenty to talk about, but I'm going to keep this video as short as I can without shooting out ideas from the inside of my head, because there's literally so much to talk about. Before we get into the main video itself, I would really like you guys to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We would love you guys to be part of the Bronniac army. We would love to have you guys join us in the long term. Thank you so much for joining us. And without further ado, let's get into the subject of chasing our dreams on the spectrum. As we begin today's video, I want to point out first and foremost that not only is pursuing a dream a prevalent thing in the autism community, but it's also a thing that a lot of us can relate to in general as human beings. I mean, think about it. Has there ever been a time in your life when you thought to yourself, I want to do this? I want to go out into the world and just do this? Well, of course you have. I mean, like, one way or another, each person has had this idea that they can contribute something greatly while expressing their creativity. And so, for us people in the autism community, when we set our minds to something, we do it in a very, very strict manner. And by that, I mean, like, for a lot of us, we do not let a passion go without a fight. We can stick with dreams for years, potentially through our whole lifetime, or we could just have a moment to think, oh, I think I could do this. And then the next, we're like, yeah, I think I like to do this better. Or maybe I could expand my abilities elsewhere. Well, that's perfectly okay. But for today's topic, let's dive into the autistic perspective of pursuing a dream. Now, for the perspective part, I just mentioned that we have this ability to really set our minds to something. Okay, imagine this. A neurotypical, for example, might take a look at their talents from a wide point of view, and it might take them forever to decide what could they do in the world. And then you get us on the autism side. A lot of us can literally, we just wake up one day and we think, okay, this is what I feel like I can do. And we just go out and try. It's like in the blink of an eye or the snap of a finger, we have this great idea where we could just perform something. Like if we wanted to, say, fix a bicycle, if we know that we can do it, we could just go ahead and tighten up bolts and inflate tires and make us feel like we achieved something. And then there might be some of us who would take a look at a bicycle and be like, okay, I still want to do this, but I want to YouTube a few things, make sure I'm doing this right. It's a process, but that is just the perspective part right there. And now I want to get into the most interesting part of the video. What could we as autistic people do if we want to set our minds to something long term? Like maybe a dream career, for example. Yeah, let's go with the dream career. There is a multitude of ways that we could go about setting our goals and accomplishing them. But for this particular video, from my perspective, I want to give you my suggestions on what you could do when you want to pursue a certain goal or a dream. And it only boils down to 3 categories. If you want to pursue a dream career, you need to have a plan. You need to have preferably a support system. And third and most importantly, self-confidence. Now the thing here is I'm gonna go a little bit at a time explaining what each of these categories pertain to. Now, for instance, number 1, having a plan. You need to really consider, depending on what goal you're setting, you need to take a look at the parameters of exactly what it is you're going out to do. Like you need to think about finances, you need to think about resources, and you also have to think about your limitations. Limitations are extremely important. Now, the finance thing, even dreams do not come free. If you have a dream career in like filmmaking, a lot of us would think, oh, okay, you could go to Hollywood for that because it's a very popular place. Well, think about it. If you want to travel to Hollywood to become a filmmaker, you have to really consider the traveling and whatnot. You need to think about gas, food. In general, you need to take care of yourself. Now, the resources. These days, it's easy to get resources from particularly the internet. Everything in the digital era is like as big of a blessing as it is a curse. Because without the internet, especially these days, how would we be able to find a particular application for a dream job? I mean, remember the old days when people would have to find most applications through paper? They'd have to walk in somewhere and ask for one and fill it out and hand it into like human resources. Well, things are easy these days. And not only can you fill out an application online these days, but you can connect with people through social media who can give you pointers on what you need to do before you set a goal in motion. From their experience, what do they have to offer you? Can they give you any pointers on if you're going the right direction, what can you do to improve on with the other categories like finances, and giving advice on self-confidence. Which brings us into the third and final category of our little plan here, self-confidence. Absolutely. You need to believe in yourself when you are setting a goal. My dear audience, I cannot tell you the amount of times that people have told me over the years, you need to really believe in yourself and just go forward with your plan. And even if it doesn't turn out your way, it's probably for the best. Because if you get turned down for something, those people probably don't want you. And that's okay, because if there are certain people who would rather not work with you, you don't want to end up trying to force them into choosing you as part of their team, because if they don't respect you, or if they don't like take your advice or anything like that, that would eventually make your contribution, your whole work life, or even your livelihood miserable. It could even potentially crumble that self-confidence that you have built up after all this time. So if you're looking to work with a team and not independently, really go for the team that would love to see you every day and hear your ideas, where you could joke around once in a while, and you can even make a difference in the world with what you have to come up with together. These days, it's also easy to really be independent when you're chasing a dream. Like, ironically, I'm doing this through a YouTube video, and originally I thought about being a full-time YouTuber at one point, but that was back in my college days. And I had to do some reflecting on how far I could go as only a YouTuber. I'm not gonna lie, guys, on a personal note, I still love making videos like these, being an advocate for the autism community, and even making part-time videos when I have the time. But from my perspective, I spent so many years working up to become an English professor. Because for those of you who don't know me personally, let me elaborate a little bit. I have several talents that I could share with you, but throughout my entire time as a college student and a young adult, I often ask myself, what's one thing I'm good at more than being a YouTuber? Well, I like to teach. And that's exactly what I set my path towards. I teach college English courses, helping people find their voices both in their writing and in their communication. Verbal communication, more specifically. I really have adjusted very far in the workplace as an autistic person, and I am very thankful for the college that I work for collaborating with me and accepting me as one of their own. Oh, by the way, if you want to check out a video I did a couple years back on autism in the workplace, it is featured on my channel. And so before we wrap things up in our video today, I have a special guest who would like to contribute her 2 cents into what it is like to pursue a dream from an autistic perspective. I hope you all enjoy her contribution to this video and this discussion. So without further ado, let's introduce our guest.
Hey everybody, my name is Emily Duckett. I live in Charles City, Iowa. I am 24 years old and I will be 25 this coming September. I have 2 brothers who are autistic themselves on different levels, Eric and Ethan. When I was 9 years old, I was diagnosed with nonverbal learning disorder. NVLD basically has difficulty understanding facial expressions, body language, and other forms of communication sometimes. By the time I was 20, I was also diagnosed with autism, OCD, and social anxiety. A couple of fun facts about me. I love the Green Bay Packers and Detroit Lions in football. I love my animals, including my rabbit, Margot Ray, guinea pigs, Jessica, Marjorie, and Iola, our family dog, Flower Grace, and our family cats, Tommy, Charlie, and Prince. Some hobbies I enjoy are going to church, watching NFL football, loving on my guinea pigs and my rabbit, talking to my cousin in Georgia, by the way, shout out to Tony, and playing my guitar and drums. Some challenges I've overcome so far in life are grief and loss. I've lost so many family members in my life so far. I have definitely felt grief at the moment, but because of my faith, I am able to use my faith, my coping skills from counseling and medication to overcome it. Another challenge I've overcome is feeling confident to do certain things on my own. Before recently, I would doubt myself and my ability to do things on my own, even though I knew God was there and would help me through it. It is a slow process, but I am slowly making progress. Some of my dreams for my future would to be go and see my cousin in Georgia and to get married to the love of my life, who I have yet to meet and have a family. Life as an autistic was and still is very hard sometimes, even though I've had a very good home life. School was very hard for me. I would fight my parents as I did not want to be at school and never felt accepted there. I believed that my classmates didn't know how to deal with my differences. So in 10th grade, I pulled out to finish school at Duckett Academy Homeschool. I graduated in Des Moines, Iowa at a Christian homeschool program with kids from all over the state. Some advice I would give to you all today about chasing our dreams as an autistic through a faith perspective includes that we are never alone. God is always with us and He's always by our side. He will walk with us as we chase our dreams. And then the other thing is that if I can chase dreams with social anxiety and autism as a challenge, then you certainly can chase your dreams as well. As we come to an end of this interview, I just wanted to say that I'm here to support and build others up. I know what it's like to be torn down by other people, and it's not an easy road, especially as neurodivergent people and being different. I know what it's like. And I just wanted to get on here and say that if you ever need a friend, I am here for you. Take care and God bless.
Thank you very much, Emily, for joining us today and for contributing and sharing your story with us. I'm sure you're making your whole family proud, and thank you as well for always being there with your brothers and for your brothers. I'm sure they appreciate your support as much as you appreciate theirs. And to our audience out there, Emily made some strong points. I mean, for one thing, no matter what we're trying to achieve in life, we're never alone. Not at all. We always have each other. We always have our support system, no matter who they are. And that is what makes us transform as human beings into what we want to become through our greatest potential. And another strong point that she made, if a neurodiverse person can achieve his or her dreams, who's to say no one can? That's pretty much the gist of it. Like, anyone can achieve a dream. You just got to put in the effort, the confidence, and reach for the stars. It will take a lot of work, and it might potentially take a good penny out of your pocket, but if you want to achieve a dream, there has to come a price. But in the end, it's usually worth it. And I can vouch for that right there. I just want to say thank you all for coming to our video today, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, again, please be sure to subscribe to Bronze Over Brains for more content in the future. We're always finding new ways to make more interesting videos. And for our current viewers out there, thank you again for joining us today. I really appreciate all of you as usual. And again, for anyone traveling out there, please stay safe from this storm. And in conclusion, Bronniacs, this is Bronze Over Brains. I am Bronson Layton, always reminding you to stay brawny. See you guys later.